After lists, let's look at another complex data type that is often used in Python, and that is tuples. Tuples are made up of fields, and a tuple can be instantiated in the way that you see on screen using brackets surrounding the information that you want to hold within that tuple. Here, my tuple is a variable that holds a tuple with two fields. The first field contains a name, that is Kishore. The second field contains a score or a number, that is 90. Just like a list can contain any number of elements, a tuple can contain any number of fields. One other thing that makes tuples very similar to lists is the fact that they are also ordered collections. When you print out a tuple or when you iterate over the individual fields in a tuple, they're always returned in the same order. Just like we use the square brackets to define lists, we use the round brackets to define tuples. Once again, extending their similarity to lists, individual fields within a tuple can be accessed using an index. My tuple of 0 will extract the first field which has the value Kishore. Tuple field indices also start at 0. If you want the score information that is present in the tuple, you can access it using the index 1. This will give you 90. A good question to ask here is, if tuples behave like lists in many ways, why do we have tuples at all? The big difference here is that tuples are immutable. Once you've created a tuple with certain values within it, field values, you can't modify it at all. Let's say I try to assign the name Ram to field 0 of the tuple. This will result in an error. Notice that Python has thrown a type error which says tuple object does not support item assignment. The tuple once created cannot be edited in any way. The question then arises, why would you use tuples at all? Just like lists represent collections of any kind of element, tuples represent records. So let's say you had a database. One row in the database can be thought of as a tuple. Let's say you have student details information, the name of the student, the scores in various subjects, and maybe the city where the student lives. That would typically be represented in a tuple. You can use a single statement to extract the individual fields of a tuple. Our tuple had a name and a corresponding score. You can access the name and score and assign new variables the way you see on screen. Name will now have Kishore and score will have 90. Let's observe once again the tuple assignment. Our tuple had two fields. We want each of those fields to be extracted to individual variables. We specify those variables on the left side of the equal to operator. The value in the first field will go to the first variable, that is name. The value in the second field will go to score. Let's set up another tuple, this time with many more fields. Here our tuple contains 5 different fields. The first field is a number, the next 3 fields are strings, the last field is a number. It's possible that you're only interested in the first 3 fields of this tuple and you want to extract them into variables. This is possible in Python by specifying 3 variable names which will hold the values in the first 3 fields of your tuple. These are the unique ID, girl name, and boy name variables. This tuple, however, has 5 fields, so you can't just have 3 things on the left side of your assignment operator. The remaining 2 field values, which you're not interested in, will be assigned to the underscore. The underscore simply means that you're not giving the variable a name, you're not interested in those fields. They'll be assigned, but you'll no longer be able to access them. The underscore is a special character in Python, and it basically means any value that is assigned to the underscore can essentially be ignored. You're not interested in it. Here, those values are the field values Matthew and 45. These are the last 2 fields in your tuple. The first 3 fields for which we had variable names have been extracted successfully. Unique ID is 1, girl name is Nimisha, boy name is Venkat. In Python, tuples can be thought of as immutable lists. Lists which when once constructed, you can't modify in any way. You can't change any of the elements, which means that list slicing operations work with tuples as well. Here is a number tuple, and you can use the same slicing operations that you've seen before to access the first 2 fields in this tuple. The much dreaded negative indices work with tuples as well. Here we want all the tuple fields starting at index 2, going up to the last field represented by -1, but we do not include the last field. So this will give us all numbers starting from index position 2 except the very last number 10. Tuples can be concatenated as well. We have a string tuple here containing the names John and Jim, and you can concatenate the string tuple with your number tuple, resulting in a mixed tuple. Weirdly enough, Python allows you to perform mathematical operations on tuple as well. Here we have the tuple containing a single field, the string hello, and we want to multiply it by 4. The result will be 4 hello strings concatenated with one another, and this is the result that is printed using the print function. Here is another slicing operation. You want all elements starting from index 1 up to the very end of the tuple. This will give you all fields in the tuple except the very first, which is at index 0. If you remember the trick that you learned earlier to reverse a string, where we specified a step size of -1 for the entire list, we don't specify the beginning and the end index. This same trick can be used to reverse the fields of a tuple as well. Just a reminder here that all of these slicing operations that we've seen, whether they're performed on lists, strings, or tuples, they do not change the original value on which we are performing the slice. They only result in a new tuple or a new list or a new string with those specific elements sliced out. Here are some more examples for you to play around with. All elements up to the index 3, that is 2, 4, 7 in our number tuple. All elements starting at index 1 with a step of 2, that is every alternate element up to the very end of the list. Built-in functions that work with lists also work with tuples. We can find the length of the tuple using the len function. Our tuple has 7 fields. The max function finds the maximum number in our number tuple, which is the number 10. The sum built-in function will sum up all the individual fields of our tuple to give us a total. Here it is 38. Because lists and tuples are so similar to each other, a list can be converted to a tuple and vice versa. Simply pass in a list to the tuple function. That will give you a tuple with the same field values as the elements that were present in the list.